Hi, I'm Ramona Wurst with Ramona's Basil Garden. Today what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my worm castings and I am going to plant my fall tomatoes with a basil plant too. What you do is you take a scoop of your worm castings and you put that in the bottom of the hole. Booey. And you have a helper dog with you too. Like so. And then you take your tomato plant. Now I have actually earlier today, if you can see that, I have actually put some worms, red wiggler worms in there. And I'm going to go ahead and just plant all of my red wiggler worms. You want to make sure you get them all in there. And the reason you're putting worm castings around the roots is it's going to actually ensure that the tomato plant stays free from disease, and it's going to give it all kinds of growing nutrients too. My next plant that I'm going to plant in the middle is a basil plant. And the reason I plant basil is because basil not only enhances the flavor of the tomatoes, but it'll also keep some of the pests away. Again, I've got my worm castings in the bottom. I do have some of my little red wigglers that I put in there earlier today. And then I've got one more Roma tomato. And you do want to make sure that if you are purchasing your plants from a nursery, that you go ahead and break up that peat moss container that they're in. And I've got my worm castings in the bottom there. I see some worms there. Now to keep my earthworms happy and wanting to stay with the plant, I've got some coffee grounds. I'm just going to sprinkle just a few little coffee grounds around the base of each plant. And then I'm going to go ahead and put another scoop of worm castings at the base of each plant. Now this is not only to help the plant with its nutrition, but it'll actually, every time I water, it'll actually seep into the ground and give those roots a really good, energizing meal. If you've ever thought of yourself as being really hungry and you're kind of weak, you go and you eat something really good for you and everything, you've just got all kinds of energy, that's what my tomato and my basil plants are going to do.
Any earthworm casting, regardless of what the earthworm is fed, the earthworm castings contain nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, organic carbon, and bacteria. Get your soil you're going to put in, mix it 15% with worm castings, blend it in. Then you can top dress a quarter inch or so it goes down. But you want those castings around those roots to protect them and stimulate their growth.
Okay.
The thing about worm castings, they feed a plant right now.
I'm going to show you how to plant and take care of your soil properly with a little Thai basil plant here. Now I've chosen a ceramic pot, and what I've done is I've got some organic potting soil. I'm going to take a handful of my worm casting and put in there. I'm going to mix that up. This is going to actually give your plant a really healthy beginning. Go ahead and put some of the dirt into my pot. Right before I plant my plant, I'm going to take just a little bit more, just a little bit, of my worm castings and put down in the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and remove my plant. And see how bunched up the roots are? You want to just go ahead and loosen them up a little bit. Place your plant in and press firmly. You want to go ahead and put a little bit more soil in. Take a little sphagnum moss and cover the base of the plant. The purpose of the sphagnum moss is that it actually keeps moisture in when you water your plant. It also keeps away or repels the fungus gnats, and it just really helps your plant get along a lot better.
Worm castings are really going to guarantee that your plant gets off to a really great, strong start. And it'll be disease-free and a very nutritious plant. Also, the taste of your tomatoes, you're not going to believe how flavorful they are. You can also purchase your fresh worm castings directly to your door. Just go to Ramona's Basil Garden Gifts and you can order them and we'll ship in the mail immediately. I'm Ramona Wurst with Ramona's Basil Garden, enjoying my brand new raised bed